Morning VC, Dale back, and this is my 8th Finds video 2020, 8th video in a week, 8th video in 8 years on the VC, but also 8th video in a week, so wear that one out. So I promise this is the last Finds video, and I'll leave you alone after that, and maybe pick up on some other kind of types of videos. Wanted to start by showing this. I learnt today of the sad passing of Bill Withers, who died I think on the 30th of March, so really sad news. Hopefully not an indication that we are going to start to lose some of our greats from this virus. I don't think actually Bill died from the virus, it wasn't clear. I think he had heart troubles, but didn't say. But that's sad passing, so thoughts out to him, his family, at this time. So this is a Finds video. I thought I'd start with a deviation, so that's a good start. So a couple of days ago, thud on the mat at home, and this month's copy of Shindig magazine dropped through the letterbox. Always welcome to me. I always look forward to it. Always costs me a fortune. This is my favourite magazine. I subscribe to four music magazines currently. I have done for a number of years. This is my favourite 60s and psych kind of leaning magazine, but a lot of new artists as well in that vein, or sort of yeah. So really good magazine, highly recommended. Kind of next on the list in terms of recommendations, I would say, is Record Collector. This is really good in terms of the variety of articles that it has, and I trust the kind of reviews. So those first two kind of point me towards artists that I can then check out, and then obviously spend some cash following. And the other two that I subscribe to are fairly similar, so Mojo and Uncut. They both come with freebie CDs, normally introducing new acts, which again is good for finding out about new music, and Mojo often also then do themed ones. So I think Uncut seems to go more leaning towards acoustic Americana folk type artists, and Mojo is a bit more general. I used to subscribe to Q magazine for years, which influenced my buying when I was in the CD days, probably from the 90s. But I kind of moved. I think I moved on from Q. It's sort of stopped really becoming relevant to me. I've also subscribed to Classic Rock magazine and Classic Rock Prog magazine, but again, my tastes seem to kind of move on, and I stopped subscribing to those magazines. So that's a diversion. Start on with the finds. So first one, this was a charity shop find, which is a real rarity in Winchester. I never find anything in charity shops. I don't go in that often, but when I do, I don't find anything. So pick this up. This is Cocteau Twins, Heaven and Las Vegas original pressing. Unfortunately, it's got some water damage here, but it was only a £5, and the inner sleeve and the record are lovely. So played this and I really enjoyed it, which was a bit of a surprise because this album here has been a bit of a love and hate relationship for me. I bought a copy of this probably 5 years ago, having seen it on the VC. It might have been another Fred Big Star 1000, but certainly others have shown it. I got a copy at a record fair, having listened to it online and thought, yeah, I like that. I bought it, listened to it, and wasn't so taken. Went back, went in the collection, came out again, listened to it, and I think in this, is it Liz Fraser? I think is the singer. Her voice is really high. In this, it's lower, and therefore I think this is why this I enjoy this more. So I actually sold my copy because sold my copy, and then I got this a couple of years ago in a collection or something that I've got, and I listened again and thought, yeah, it's okay. So it stayed, but then I listed it, and it's come back out again. So, and at the moment, it's staying, but yeah, so I like the Cocteau Twins, but not, as I say, not massive fan of, and need to kind of be in the mood, I suppose. Like anything. So another find. This was actually much earlier in the year. I should have shown it earlier. It got out of sequence. So this is a blaxploitation soundtrack to Cleopatra Jones, predominantly I think by an artist J.J. Johnson, but it's your typical 70s blaxploitation, funk, soul soundtrack. Some vocal tracks, instrumental tracks, really good. This is a reissue. It had been on my Amazon wish list for ages, and it kind of one day it went down in price, and so I pulled the trigger. It's this reissue comes on a quite nice blue and red splatter vinyl. I mean, I must admit, I prefer black vinyl if I can. I find it more consistent for sound, but you know, you still get suckered into some of these coloured vinyl purchases, don't you? So that's the next 4 records were bought together. So what happened was we were getting close to lockdown, and I was thinking, so I mentioned in my first video, I had a bit of a splurge. So I ordered some things, and I was going to put an Amazon order in for a few records that I've been kind of thinking about buying, new releases. But what I ended up doing, and I'm glad I did, was preferred to do, was there is a record shop here in Winchester, Elephant Records, run by Alex, and I buy things from him sort of fairly regularly, but not as much as I probably should. And I messaged him and kind of said, "Have you got these in stock?" And he had 4 of the things I was after in stock. So and he said, "Well, I'm not allowing people in to browse at the moment. Collection only. I'll put them by. Come in." So it was a Saturday before the lockdown, and I kind of made a dash into Winchester. Went there, credit card. So he's got some money because I think he closed the next day actually. So at least I bunged him some cash rather than Amazon, and bought these 4 records, and happy with all of them, and happy I did that. So so the first I'll show is by a band called Monophonic Switch, which are another one. So sort of new soul band, Daptone type instrumentation, so funky soul. This is US press, I think, but it's a gatefold. It's got 2 openings, so one's got a kind of die cut sleeve in it, which is an inner sleeve, but then the actual album comes in a different, and it said on the hype sticker, it said random coloured vinyl, but the one I've got, you won't be able to see this. Basically, it's black with some tiny flecks of white, which just looks a bit like it's a mispressed black vinyl. So in terms of so it is a random colour, but not quite what I was expecting. But as I prefer black vinyl, as I said, I shouldn't really complain. So the second purchase was the new album by Jonathan Wilson. So Jonathan Wilson, this is his 4th album, I think, 4th album I've bought anyway. So he is a sort of LA West Coast musician, does LA sound, you know, the true. I think he kind of repeats the 70s LA sound of you know, the Laurel Canyon and all that kind of thing. Sorry, Mazzy could probably express this a lot better than I am about LA sound, but and so he's done 4 records. I've got 3 of them on vinyl and 1 on CD. So his first record was this, Gentle Spirit, and I got into this off of one of those magazine compilations. Actually, there's a track off here called Gentle Desert Raven. Desert Raven. This is the album's called Gentle Spirit. And it's a beautiful, I think, sort of slide guitar driven, lush album, mostly instrumental with some vocals. and it's about a 7-minute track or something like that. But really, really nice. And so I explored more. Bought this on CD because I think this came out actually when I was in my CD buying days, and I've kind of not thought to get it on vinyl. And then I followed that up with his second album. This is a bit more of the same, follows on, but you know, is a great album, and you know, it's very, very nice album. Probably better, you know, yeah, as good as that. This is on blue vinyl. I won't show it. So this is called Fanfare, and another really consistent album. Then he kind of changed his. Sorry. He changed his sound on his third album. This, which is called, is it Rare Birds? So I'll take the post-it off. The post-it here says the replacement. So I bought this from the label. This is the deluxe edition, and it is very, very lavish. But this is the deluxe edition I bought from the label. It comes on gold vinyl, so it's got like it's got a really thick book in it. It's got a load of stickers in it. It's, as I say, embossed, gold embossed, lovely gatefold, incredibly thick and elaborate inserts, and gold vinyl. But the gold vinyl, this is why I don't particularly like coloured vinyl, the gold vinyl was a bit crackly and poppy, so I kind of complained to the label that you know, you've gone to this extent, this kind of length to kind of really produce a lavish package, but when it comes down to it, it's about the music. And so they sent me a replacement, and I've cleaned it several times. The replacement is better, and you know, probably is fine. But as I say, I get a little bit annoyed with some of the labels when they do this. They you know, they don't actually concentrate on the pressing, and that kind of, you know, lets it down. Anyway, back to this one. This is a bit more country. It's called Dixie Blur, so that probably gives you a clue. This is a bit more country, but still really good. Sorry, this previous album was more varied into kind of pop. It was a bit Fleetwood Macy poppy, but I enjoyed it. He got mixed reviews. I think his fans wanted more of the same as true fans, but I quite enjoyed that deviation. This is a kind of country, as I said, more country, but really enjoyable, and it's again another lavish. So it's in a single sleeve with die cut, with these really lovely custom inner sleeves, and it's on a green. It comes on different colours depending on what country you're in, but on the UK it's on a green, mint green vinyl, and thankfully brilliantly pressed, so you know, absolutely quiet, and sounds fantastic. I've said fantastic there. I think I managed to avoid it for most of this video so far. So yeah, really enjoyed this, because again, I'd seen mixed reviews, some really strong reviews and some kind of mixed reviews, so but I kind of pulled the trigger in my splurge. And then the final album I purchased was the new album by a New Zealand artist, Nadia Read, Out of My Province it's called. So this is again like a singer-songwriter, folk type artist. I think this is her third album, and I've been meaning to buy the previous two but never had got round to it. So I've listened to them online and like what I heard, but I just for some reason not picked them up. So so I got this. It had a kind of obi type thing on the sleeve. I think it's on black vinyl. Yeah, it's only on black vinyl. Pressing's okay. A little bit crackly, but once the music plays, it's only in the quiet spots. So I'll give it another clean. So that was the third of the pickups. So that's a really, you know, again. So I'm happy, 3 out of 3. And then the final one I'll show here is my favourite of the 4 probably, although I've not had them very long. I've only had them a few weeks and I need to play them a bit more, and this is the new album by Baxter Dury, so Ian Dury's son, called The Night Chances, and that's what it sounds like. It's I would say it's indie funk. It sounds like it's some really the beats and the kind of the melody of the music is quite upbeat, and then the lyrics are quite dark. It seems to be themed around, you know, some people you wouldn't really like to meet. You know, there's tracks called like Slumlord and I'm Not Your Dog, and you know, Carla's Got a Boyfriend, The Night Chances. It's, you know, it's an album about, I guess, you know, inner city, dark, dodgy characters. But that's how I've interpreted it anyway. But with a quite a good funky beat behind it, and Baxter Dury does his kind of partly sung, partly spoken vocals, if that makes sense, a bit like his dad. Yeah, so but it works for me. I really enjoyed it, and we'll give it some, you know, a lot of attention. I'm trying to convince my wife we need to have a vinyl night, and she needs to hear this. It's one of these albums where you want to share it. My wife will just roll her eyes and probably listen to it and say, yeah, whatever. Yeah, so that's it. There's a few other things that I've picked up, but I haven't really listened to them enough yet. And I said this will be the last one, and we've got to 16 minutes, so I'll stop there, and I'll maybe come back with something else. So cheers for now. Thanks. Bye.